Celtics win 94-86. Jimmy just got surprised. This is the Garden Report. We're back. Celticsblog, CLNS Radio. Hey, welcome to the Garden Report. My name is Jared Weiss. I'm from CLNS Radio. With me, the Celticsblog guys, Jimmy Toscano, Evans Clinchy. Much more formal there, Evans.
Yeah,
the Celtics come back. They win 94-86. Come back home, not come back in the game. They win 94-86. We haven't seen them in a while. You haven't seen us in a while. It's good to be back.
Missed you.
I missed you. I was thinking about you
Missed
the
you
entire
too.
time. I missed Jimmy and Evans. Evans never comfortable in these
I miss
situations. But Jimmy and I, we got some bro love. We're
Yeah,
like
dude.
We're like Jeremy
We're
Lin and Chandler Parsons over here.
Absolutely.
Or Courtney Lee and Jeff Green, keeping
Okay.
it local there.
Who am I?
I think I'm Jeff and you're Courtney. I mean, you're the shorter
be
one,
Jeremy
I'm the taller
Lin?
one. There you go.
Okay.
There you go. That works perfectly. All right,
You're-
and he's yamming over there. So
There you go.
the Celtics win the ball game, which is what they were kind of going for. I thought they were kind of going for that with this one.
They seem to be
kind of going
tempting
for the
us.
win.
That was the game plan.
We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about the zone because the Celtics ran zone, which is something that makes Doc feel dirty. He told us a couple weeks ago when he ran zone the first time a few weeks ago. So we'll get into how the zone worked tonight. They went up against Stephen Curry, who had a few points in the Garden, the other Garden, MSG. Only 54. So the Celtics were able to hold him down to, what was it, 25? So Stephen Curry on a terrible night at 25 points. That's a pretty damn good player right there. Jeff Green, good game. Paul Pierce, good game. We'll break down everyone's good games. We'll break down a couple bad games. And we'll talk about the newbies. A lot of new faces making their first appearance in the Garden
some new locker
as
rooms.
Celtic players. Most of them coming here from China, so they're really freaking happy to be for the Celtics.
They speak
right
very
now.
good English, though.
They do. It's impressive.
Yeah.
So we'll start off with the Curry and Thompson shutdown from the Celtics tonight. Curry shoots 6 for 22. Thompson 7 for 19. Not 7 for 19 is not awful, but it's not good either.
Right.
But these guys are deadly three-point shooters, and Thompson goes 1 for 7 for deep, and Curry goes 3 for 11 from deep. Jimmy, Doc talked about how they ran a little bit of zone, but I know also it was written on the board before the game, pressure Curry and Thompson. And Avery, especially on Curry, did an amazing job really getting into his chest on the perimeter.
Yeah, I mean, that was the hype going into this game for a couple of days now. Ever since Curry dropped 54, it was, okay, well, let's see what Bradley can do on Curry. And I think the first quarter we saw Curry was really all up in his shorts the entire time he was out there. I know Curry didn't score on him that entire first quarter.
1 point. Yeah, one free throw.
But was it on Bradley? Was Bradley defending
I
him?
don't remember who fouled him, but he had one free throw.
I don't
That's it.
think he scored on Bradley in the first quarter, but we'll double check. But anyways, I know in the second quarter it started to happen, and obviously Bradley got into foul trouble because he was fouling Curry, but because he was so up in his face the entire time. I thought Bradley did the best job he could on Curry. I was actually really impressed with Lee as well, because I thought that might have been the mismatch today, because Thompson's a bigger player, and like you said, he can shoot threes, but when he goes 1 for 7 tonight, I thought that Lee did a really good job as well. So good job by the Pitbulls, Bradley and Lee.
Both?
Yeah, Bradley and Lee defending those two great shooters in the zone. I mean, credit to the coaching staff for going zone against a great shooting team like the Warriors. I mean, I think the Warriors helped out the Celtics a little bit by missing a couple of many open shots, but hey, that's the gamble the Celtics took, and it paid off.
Yeah, it's just really impressive how adaptable the Celtics defense was. I mean, they started the game with as you said, Bradley and Lee pressuring the Warriors guards, and then they got into foul trouble late.
Yeah.
4 fouls for Courtney Lee, 5 for Avery Bradley. And it was desperation forcing them to go zone. They had no guards left that could play any D. Sorry, Jordan Crawford. But, out of desperation, they start playing the zone, and it works partially because the Warriors missed some shots, but partially because the Celtics just kept communicating and just kept moving. Kevin Garnett said at postgame that when you're playing against a team that communicates really well and shoots really well, you got to be talking a lot on defense. And they talked a lot, they moved a lot, they covered for each other. It was just a really good team defensive effort, and, the stats show it. The Warriors shot 5 for 23 from deep. You're not going to win when you do that. So
Right, 34% from the field too, and obviously when they scored, 86 points. I mean, this is a team that averages 101.6 or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly the number, but I think I do. and for them to score
Not
only
to
86
show
tonight.
off
I mean,
or anything.
and you talked about communication before. I think the Celtics are and as everybody knows, they're one of the better teams or the best team in the league, communication wise. So
The big thing, Warriors had 86 points on 94 field goal attempts.
Yeah.
You should never have less points than field goal attempts. That's not only is that terrible shooting, but a lot of chucking up
And it
threes.
was.
You saw the 21.7% to be precise from deep, 5 for 23. I mean, there were a lot of threes that were just pretty much just chucked up. And I mean, part of it is just some mediocre shot selection, but part of it was that the Celtics were able to take in dribble penetration and pretty much wall it off at like the 10-foot line, not let it get through, make them have to reset, and then have to take kind of like a desperation three with a couple seconds left in the shot clock.
And real quick, just playing that zone prevented, like Doc said, the ball penetration to kick it out to a three-point shooter. I mean, they weren't really falling for that with the zone they were playing in, so I think that just helped out as well.
And part of it was just fluky. I mean, when you're a team that takes a lot of threes, you're going to have on nights and off nights. We've seen this with Houston, with the Knicks. Teams take a lot of threes. Sometimes you make a lot,
Live and
sometimes you miss
die.
a lot. I mean, yeah, you live and die. Like, Steph Curry's got 38 points one night and 54 the next. He's due to have one or two off nights, too. I mean, it happens. I think Doc said at postgame that, Curry missed a lot of shots he normally makes. And, he was kind of owed some misses after the last couple of nights.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear from Doc and Kevin what they had to say about it after the game.
Well, we went zone, and it was, it's funny. We coaches, you think about, zoning them with all that shooting, and first of all, we almost had to because we had Courtney in foul trouble, and Avery. And this morning, my thought was, how many times have they ever zoned? I just thought that they shoot the ball so well. I don't think they've been zoned that much, and I think Kevin looked it up. It was 70 minutes this year. So we just went with it, and it worked. I mean, and they missed some shots in it, but I thought the switching in the zone was really good for us.
It's on you guys to execute, but what's to say about the coaching staff and Doc to go zone and actually have it work against a good shooting team like Golden State?
It was a different look. Good shooting teams, you got to be very, very talkative in the zone. I was kind of wary of it, but it was a different look. I thought it was a great call on Doc's part. He and Mike made a great call on that. I slowed them down. I thought they went to a more individual game. And I thought that played into our favor. More importantly, man, we got stops when we had to get stops. We rebounded together and just came out with a win.
So Jeff Green had a bit of a spill tonight, and that must have broken or unbroken. Usually when you smash something, it unbreaks. It's like trying to fix a computer. You smash it, all of a sudden it starts working.
You just bang. You remember
that makes
that?
no sense at all.
Oh, okay.
What, have you never used like an N64
Thank you.
computer before?
No, you take it out, you bone it.
You blow on
You
it.
blow on
You
it.
don't smash it on the ground.
Okay,
What
so
are you talking
Jeff
about?
Green got
little
blown
bit.
on, smashed on the ground. All of a sudden, he's on fire tonight. The guy loves that right elbow, right corner. That's been his bread and butter all year. Probably because he's able to do kind of that push-off move where he kind of gets his arm in the guy's chest.
Little arm bar going
Yeah,
on.
this is a little bit of Draymond Green right here in the middle. But he just scored so many baskets, basically getting the ball on the elbow, driving into the corner baseline area, pushing off a little bit, pulling up. He hit like 6 of those seemingly in a row, every single one that he was attempting. I think he hit like 6 of 7 shots or something like that in the
second
middle of the
half.
game after he went down. But Evans, what is it about just kind of smashing Jeff Green and that really stylish Allen Iverson armband that he had going there that just kind of saved his shot in this game and really made him come alive?
I don't know if it was him smashing his side on the floor or him wearing the armband or what, but he definitely stepped up and played a lot more aggressively in the second half. And it's something that kind of comes and goes in spurts with him. I mean, we can't really... The Celtics have not found a way all season to channel that energy into every single quarter of every single game. He's just kind of been here and then there and then out and then in. It's just, he hasn't found it consistently, but he had a really inspired second half, and you like to see that from him.
I agree, and I think it's unfair to want that type of effort every quarter from every game. And we said the same thing about Rajon Rondo. I'm sure we've said the same thing about Pierce this year when he didn't look himself. I mean, you're not going to get 110% or even 95% of players all the time, but it was nice to see that, when he went down hard and he was lying down on the floor, everyone's kind of like, what's going on? He got back up, put the sleeve on, and he played like he didn't have an injury. And some guys, when they injure themselves, they're thinking about it or they're playing hesitant because they don't want to hurt it again, but he actually seemed to be even more aggressive, so that was nice.
Well, maybe basic cable Jeff Green is actually the good Jeff Green.
Oh, stop. Oh, God, no.
No, I think you're right. I think you're
Well, we're
onto
starting
something.
with the nicknames. Don't worry. You heard it here on the Garden
God.
Report. Okay, so let's talk about the new guys. We're going to go to Jeff's video. We did it. They're smashing in the background, getting ready
Bruins
for the Bruins
tomorrow.
tomorrow, or today when you're watching this video. But Jimmy, the new guys, Terrence, we
guys.
only saw for like a minute.
Yep.
But Jordan, he got some good minutes
He got
tonight.
5.
17 minutes and
What?
4 seconds.
What am I looking at? Oh, I got 17.
Yeah, no, you think
17
Terrence had
minutes.
a minute and a half. But
So
so
he had 5 in the fourth, I think.
there we go. But so Crawford, he didn't have an exceptional all-around game, but he made some nice contributions. He went 2 for 6 from the field. He had. I asked Doc about during the post-game press conference. In the first quarter, he had a play where he did his kind of trademark putting the ball behind his head while he drives, which I don't know who taught him that move, but it's not really a good move.
It was actually me.
Probably
Jimmy, you
self-taught.
really shouldn't have taught that back when you were 7 years old. And he was in 5th grade. But so actually, you're probably older, the same age as Jordan.
Probably.
But so. The issue, though, was that he goes into triple coverage, gets swatted away.
Yeah.
I asked Doc, do you address that with him?
Yeah.
Do you care?
And Doc lies through his teeth.
Yeah, but
He was-
Doc
he
It's
said,
his job. I'm not criticizing, but he lied.
Doc said he's a scorer. That's
Right.
you want your scorer to want to take that kind of shot. They're gonna. He said that Paul had a bad shot. Comparing the efficiency levels
Yeah.
of Jordan Crawford and Paul Pierce,
Yeah, please.
lying through his teeth. But it makes a point that Jordan is not going to be held back, and that usually is going to be beneficial for this team because they, even with this new offense or this new kind of revived offensive system, there still are going to be times where you just have Jason Terry out there to run the offense, and you're going to need some other guy to step up with big energy. I mean, Evans? You're shaking your head.
I am shaking my head.
What
yes.
did you like from Crawford tonight, and how do you see him going forward?
What
as
didn't you
fitting
like?
into
Because I
this
feel like
team?
I'll
that's
start
where
with
you'd
what I
rather-
did. I mean, I
Okay.
like that Crawford is active. You know, when there's a loose ball, he's jumping and running and diving for it. I mean, he's a very active, very energetic player who's always looking to chip in whatever he can to help. But yeah, driving into 3 guys and trying to score, that's not going to work. And Doc might claim when you ask him in the postgame press conference that no, he's not giving him a talking to, but you know he is.
Yeah.
You know he's in the locker room yelling at him right now saying, "What are you doing taking that shot, you moron?" But, you know, he doesn't want to say that publicly because he's going to get the guy's confidence rattled and then he's going to be a whole different player in the second half of the season. I mean, you know, you got to make sure you have the right image publicly so that you don't, you know, disgrace the player and throw off his confidence. But
And he's new. He doesn't want to rip somebody who's just
right,
his
wait
first
a
frickin'
month
game
and then
at
bench
home.
him.
Yeah.
It'll happen later
Yeah.
on, but let's be patient. But yeah, I mean, you got to tell the guy you're on a team surrounded by Hall of Famers that are going to take more shots than you. You got to kind of rein it in and know your role. You know, he'll figure it out.
I think Doc's actually trying to keep a more open mind about Crawford than maybe we are or anybody else is, because if you think about it, we didn't watch the Wizards play basketball. I mean, I'm not trying to speak for you guys, but I tried to stay away from
we
watching
watch
bas-
one game and we try to cover our eyes the entire time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I really don't. I mean, and I'm not saying that what we heard isn't true, but he came here and we already had these preconceived notions of who he was as a player. He's a ball hog. He's shoot first. He's shoot only. I mean, he doesn't know how to pass. He doesn't play defense. Well, let's see. I mean, I think he's played.
Didn't
or
you
at least-
confirm all those notions tonight? Like, what game
Well,
were you watching?
I know, because I think he's trying a lot harder on defense than I expected, just based on what people were saying. I mean, he does pass the ball here and there. I think what Doc's saying is right. I mean, Barbosa. What was Barbosa? Was Barbosa a defensive guy? Was he a great passer? No.
He was
I mean,
almost the exact same player
Ex-
as Jordan Crawford.
Exactly, but because he's Barbosa and Crawford's Crawford, we're gonna get mad or Doc's ripping on him. But I really don't think he is as much as we might think he is, because I think he's gonna give this guy a chance. And I mean, I'm not expecting a ton out of Crawford. I think if I could choose Barbosa or Crawford, I would choose Barbosa just because of the experience and former 6th man of the year.
He's more in control
Kind
of
of gets
his
it.
game.
But I think I've been kind of impressed with Crawford's attitude so far. I mean, he's obviously playing less minutes, he's getting less shots. But I mean, tonight was, we talked to him after the game. I mean, he's just so happy to be a part of, the Celtics organization. And he said, I said, what's the biggest difference? I asked him, what's the biggest difference between here and the Wizards? He says, like, just support, like, from the top down, from the management to teammates to the ball boys. It's just like, people are there, like, they want you to succeed. It's not like everyone for themselves. And I think that, for the first time in the NBA career, he's, like, trying to maybe realizing, like, what it means to be, like, on a team. And maybe that would translate on the court a little bit.
All right, well, we talked to Jordan after the game. Just look at his smile. The dude looks happy. That's the big difference. It was just like that. Golden shiny smile. Let's take a look at the tape.
What's the biggest difference you've noticed with this team and your old team, or organization-wise anyway?
Just the focus, everyday focus. How important it is to win, how much they appreciate you. That's big.
That translates, do you think, on the court?
Oh, of course.
Why do you say it was that?
Because it do. I mean, when you got people supporting you, it's easy to go out there and play for one another.
You support, you mean like from the top? Teammates?
Everybody, yeah. Top teammate, ball boys, trainers, everybody.
When you came in, who took you under their wing, or just how were you welcomed by the team?
They all embraced me, and I think that made it easy. A team that's established like this, for them to embrace you when you come in, it's big. Make it comfortable.
Jordan had that play in the first quarter where he kind of drove in a triple team and got
Yeah.
rejected. Do you address that with them?
No, that's fine by me. I mean, I want him to be aggressive. Again, I think Jordan we're going to keep. We're like looking for him to make a bad offensive play. Paul made one. Kevin made one. Offensive players are going to make a couple of bad offensive plays. I thought he made far more good ones than that. I want him to stay aggressive. I thought that could have been a foul. He took it and just went into the trees and couldn't get out. But I don't want to take away what he can do. And that's really important.
All right, time for the segment that we do every single show, Ballin' Out. Baller of the night. This is the MVP of the game. We're going to do a vote here. Raise your hand if you think Paul Pierce is the baller. Okay, so I'm in the minority. I guess you guys are on Jeff Green's side tonight.
I'm split.
I got Shavlik Randolph. What are you guys talking about?
Okay. Tell me about Randolph's big impact tonight, then.
Well, he was hilarious in the locker room. Did you guys not see him? First of all, his hair is awesome. It's big and spiky and fluffy and crazy.
So points for that.
Definitely.
So young
And
Jay was.
He had so many amazing one-liners. I mean, he was making fun of KG, saying he was going to steal his job and score 20 and 12.
It's likely.
He was saying that he loved to order French toast from room service in the Chinese hotels. He was just
Makes two
like.
of us.
I mean, right? I mean, yeah, the guy was on fire. He's
Jimmy
awesome.
in his Chinese hotel room service.
I think Shavlik Randolph is my new favorite Celtic, and so yeah, he's my
For the
baller
next
of the
10
night.
days.
Okay, so
Hey,
for you
that
guys,
is- that is-
who's your real baller of the night, Jimmy?
You're saying Pierce? I think it could be Pierce or Green. Honestly, I think if you're talking about the first half, it's Pierce. If you're talking about the second half, it's Green. I just thought,
Let's talk about both halves.
okay, well then I'll just say Green.
But it was a tale of two
It-
halves.
you know what? It was a tie game at one point in the third quarter, and I thought Green was a better player from that point on. Like I said earlier, I just thought that he brought it tonight. I don't know if when he fell, I mean, something happened inside his head, where he said, let's be aggressive or something. But I mean, like you were saying, he was hitting shots from all over the court. It wasn't just like dunks or step back threes or whatever. It was a good showing, and I thought he brought it on the defensive end as well. So I'll get it a Green tonight, but I do think that Pierce obviously had a huge say in this game, and also with the whole neck thing going on. I'm not sure how much that's bothering him, but he's still putting up numbers with that injury.
Well, to Green's credit, he did have 10 points in the fourth quarter. I mean, that's
But
super
all four
clutch
quarters
Jeff
count
Green.
equally, and
It's true.
Paul
It's true.
Pierce had a hell of a lot of points in the first half. I'm
Yeah,
just
he did.
saying.
He had 18 in the first half. He had 5 in the second quarter. I mean, things
So
really
Pierce is
slowed
your guy?
the third quarter. For me, Pierce is my guy, but swish. It's close. I mean, clearly when Green went down, some synapses connected in his brain, and things just started clicking for him.
Obviously.
Neurology analysis for you. That's
Just
my
syn-
my
you know,
11th
it's not
grade
synapses.
education
I
going
don't
there.
think
You know
that's
what
a
it is?
word.
It's science, and I don't want to bore the viewers with it, but I mean, stuff like that happens a lot.
You don't want to shame them with how much smarter you are.
Right.
You just
Well,
humiliate the viewers.
right,
I mean,
because
It is a Sloan
it's
weekend, so we
science.
probably should be a little analytical here. I don't know what Pierce's points per possession were tonight, but he played great all
His efficiency
around.
was just-
I thought just Paul's impact on the zone defense is what was really crucial. He was doing a great job of crashing low on the strong side when he had to, but also playing good perimeter defense. Harrison Barnes actually had a pretty solid game.
Yeah, I
though,
thought he
when Pierce
did.
was on him too. So Harrison Barnes was a tough cover for Paul tonight, but I thought it was one of those games where Paul seemed like he was kind of laboring to me, but he just really tried to invest himself offensively and really carry the team out in the first half, the first 30 minutes or so. And I really loved his performance tonight.
what else is new? I mean, he's always laboring, and he's always coming out with
Exactly.
26 points and 8 rebounds and 4 assists. I mean, it's just what he's been doing for the last
Right,
3
right.
weeks, just nonstop. Every single game, he's going to get his 26 and 8.
Doing it all.
I mean, what can you say at this point?
Right, yeah. I mean, he gets, if we're giving out ballers of the month, I mean, that's got to go to Pierce for February, right?
Absolutely.
Sure.
So we should start doing that now.
All right.
Baller of the month. And I just want to do an honorary baller of the night to Chris Wilcox. Thought that they're going to need him a lot more than they've ever needed him, because you lose, not that Jason Collins was a big part of the production on the court, but
depth.
he was depth, he played, he used up his fouls, but now they need Wilcox more. I thought tonight he was in the right spots offensively for some easy buckets, which is huge. I mean, you can get a quick 2 I mean, he was almost like unguarded at times in the paint, right under the hoop. So he's figuring out what works for him when he's out there with his teammates. And like I said, and like Doc said tonight, they're going to need him because they don't have anybody else in those situations sometimes.
And I think, Doc, was it you that asked the question about whether the trade was what really kind of turned
Yeah.
Wilcox around? Yeah, and Doc, he didn't want to speculate that it was definitely that, but
Right.
I think it was pretty clear from Doc's body language and the way that he kind of slyly answered that question.
Yeah,
That when
seems like
Wilcox had to literally invoke a no trade clause with his early bird rights to keep himself here, he went, "Uh-oh, they don't like my performance so far." And Doc has been basically for the last 2 seasons kind of trying to push Wilcox
Yeah.
to really.
He's publicly
get it
said like
together.
he's good sometimes. He
Yeah.
hasn't said in those words, but like it's like hit or miss sometimes with Wilcox. Doc has kind of alluded to that.
And just imagine if he caught that Marvin Harrison style no look pass from Jordan Crawford, where Crawford was going down on the fast
Oh, my
break,
God.
and he looks to his left into the corner and throws a pass out to Wilcox underneath the rim.
But it's okay. He's got to be aggressive. He's got to make that pass.
Yeah,
It's his
I think
role.
wasn't it a good pass? I thought it was like an over the shoulder kind of catch for Wilcox, but I thought it was a good pass.
Yeah, it was the
I
right
thought
idea.
Wilcox just kind of blew it there.
Celtics need to stop making so many reckless passes. I mean, it's just not necessary. And part of that's coaching. Doc's got to be like, hey, guys, cut it out.
Well, part of it is that
Good
their
luck,
system
though.
now is built
NBA.
on having to take more guys that aren't used to making aggressive passes, having to make aggressive passes.
I don't think we need it, but whatever.
No flashing passes.
Okay, well, we're going to make a flashy sign-off here. Evans Clinchy, Jimmy Toscano from Celticsblog. My name is Jared Weiss. I'm from
Flashy.
CLNS Radio.